Hi, Sean.
I talked to you yesterday.
Good. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes. A great host. Show is great. Listen to his show.
Absolutely, 95.5.
One mic. All I need is one mic. That's all I need.
Hey, Shelley Winter Show, live, local, topical, and relevant, my friends. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Live, local, topical, and relevant. Again, my name is Shelley Winter. I'm here every night, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., and we are definitely going for a ride because so much happened this weekend. But I want to start with something local, right? This dropped pretty much today. A bunch of fundraising numbers came out. I want to get to the fundraising numbers for our Senate races. I'll get those third quarter fundraising numbers. I'll get to that later on in the show. But what was interesting, my good friend Greg Bluestein covers politics for the AJC and is probably the top political reporter in the state of Georgia, is Greg Bluestein, and I'm the top talk radio person for politics in the state of Georgia. Here in the state of Georgia, right? You got Erickson, but Erickson's national. He's syndicated. But here in Georgia, locally, talking about politics, knowing everybody on both sides of the aisle, having access to Democrats and Republicans, having access to local, federal, state, municipal people, and having access to both sides of the aisle, I'm Greg Bluestein and I are there. He's in print. I'm on radio. And he had a great tweet today talking about Geoff Duncan. And Geoff Duncan's campaign fundraiser is kicking off October 30th. It's in the evening, and he's going to have this fundraiser. Now, that's not the big deal. Most people do kick off. A good friend of mine, Calvin King's calling in this evening for a couple minutes to tell us about his campaign kickoff, which is tomorrow. And so most campaigns do this. They have an official campaign kickoff. They've announced. They've got a setup. They've got infrastructure. Everything's ready. And then they have a big event to kick off the campaign, get everybody fired up. And so Geoff Duncan has one October 30th. And there's some big names on his fundraising list. Tony Conway of Legendary Events. Like, that's the biggest caterer type special events. You have a wedding. You're getting married, right? You have Legendary Events cater your wedding or your reception and the whole nine. You're dropping some bucks. Probably one of the most successful caterers and special event planners and in Georgia. Legendary Events, Tony Conway. Pat Mitchell, Scott Seidel. Stephanie Blank, you know Stephanie Blank, of the Blank family. Bilal and Emma Malik. Malik. Tina Clark, Michelle LeClaire, big players. Laura Turner Seidel, big player. Rutherford, her husband, Rutherford Seidel, big players. Virginia Hepner, big player. Greg Benoit and his wife Jamie, big players, billionaire, big dollars. Ed Garland, Judy Garland, big players in the state of Georgia for the Democrat Party. These are your donors that are opening up, not wait and see, not, hey, we want to see what you're going to do. No, opening up with Geoff Duncan. It's big. And anybody that tries to downplay it, I'm telling you, it's huge. It really is. It's a lot of money right there. And so here's what's interesting to me, my friends. I want you to hear me out. What's fascinating is this never happens before like this. Those people are powerful people. They're very rich people. They're very successful people. But they're on the other side of the political fence. They probably give to both sides, but they give to one side probably more substantially than the other. And they're involved. They're donors. Kamala Harris is raising money. She's at these people's homes raising money. Joe Biden wants to do a fundraiser. He's at one of these homes raising millions of dollars when he was running for president in 2020 and leading up to 2024. These are big, powerful Democrat donors in the state of Georgia. And so here's the deal. They're all backing Geoff Duncan. Now, historically, this is how it's gone. Historically, in this city, you had an African-American political class run by the Andy Youngs of the world and the Shirley Franklins of the world and all of these people. They're all connected. Okay, the Max of the bailiff, the bail's bondsman, and the Russells, the contractors. These are rich people. Many of them became rich through their fathers or their families because of contracting. Nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Absolutely, it's the way it's supposed to happen. But they became the heart and soul of the African-American political class power structure in the city of Atlanta, in metro Atlanta, and in Georgia, but primarily for the Democrat Party. And so, by and large, those people would say, okay, it's Stacey's turn. It's Kasim's turn. It's Shirley's turn. Right? And those people would churn out these candidates. And by and large, since Roy Barnes, it's been African Americans at the top of the ticket every single time. And these donors pretty much, give or take a Stacey Evans or somebody like that, pretty much sidled up with the black political power structure and said, okay, we're going with who? We're going with Stacey Abrams. Okay, we're going to Stacey. Everyone pile on the money for Stacey Abrams. That's what we're going to do. Geoff Duncan, former Republican, white guy, hair not a hair out of place, telegenic, switches over to the Democrat Party. And where does the big money go? Where does the big money go? It goes to him. It goes to him. Of all the vaunted millionaires of this African-American leadership class in the city of Atlanta, none of them got Seidel money. None of them got Rutherford money. None of them got Tony Conway money. I'm not saying they do or they don't. I'm just saying they don't. Millionaire versus millionaire. And that's no shade because I'm not a millionaire either way. That's not a shade. That's facts. Those are facts. Those are hard, cold facts. They can't make kings. They can make kings at the local level. They can't make kings at the statewide level. These guys can make kings at the statewide level. And that's what they're doing with Geoff Duncan. This is why it's such a powerful thing to watch play out. Again, no shade. I'm just telling you my opinion on what I'm looking at on the ground. Real talk. Fact of the matter is this, my friends. You might be seeing the last vestiges of the black political class, leadership class in Atlanta the last time. The Andy Youngs, the Shirley Franklins, the people like that, the people with power, you might be seeing them their waning power wane right before your very eyes. You might be seeing it go down right before your very eyes. And that's a very important thing to point out. And the reason why it's so important to point out is because now the people in the city of Atlanta, metro Atlanta, might start to get those things which they need as opposed to just those things which the people in power want to give them. And also, as a voter, whether you're Democrat or Republican, what it's also going to do is make the politics more palatable, make your choices clearer. In other words, you'll have a center right versus center left, not a far left versus far right, or you'll have some kind of nuance, some kind of gray area, some kind of moderation in our politics, which is what we all want because most of us don't fall on the far left or the far right. Most of us fall between the center left and the center right. That's where most of us fall, give or take a couple issues. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens in this election going forward. Because I predict that this fundraising machine that Geoff Duncan has just announced with all of these major hitters coming out at the outset on his team for fundraising, we might be watching the waning influence of the African-American political class in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know what that bodes, what that looks like 5, 10, 15 years from now. But I know if the things can continue to progress the way they're going, it won't matter because the city won't have anybody left to be a leadership class for. It's the Shelley Winter Show. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. We'll be right back.